Good morning. I'm Frank Kaufmann. I'm the president of the Settlement Project, and I'm online here to welcome you to the podcast series of the project. The Settlement Project was founded out of concern for a couple of things. It's a very simple and direct piece of work. We start with the Bill of Rights in the United States of America, most especially the First Amendment. And the First Amendment, of course, as many know, reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people uh, peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The other important element of the U.S. Bill of Rights that is a concern for the leadership and for the members of the Settlement Project is the concept in the United States of equal justice under the law. The thing about the Settlement Project, however, is that it is not merely a United States focused or United States centric organization. Its concern and orientation, audience, and horizon of work is explicitly for all citizens in the world. It is not merely concerned for United States citizens, but it is concerned for every single person on earth. It is the belief and the purpose and the work of the Settlement Project to try to put in place, to try to establish and fix safely and securely the same God-given rights that are guaranteed American citizens in the United States Constitution. Every person alive on earth should be recognized as, as guaranteed, not by governments, but by God, as having these God-given rights. The freedom of religion, and of course, freedom of conscience, that no government should decide what is the right of a citizen in terms of their inner life related to their spiritual responsibilities and related to their God, their beliefs, and the free exercise thereof. This is extremely important. Not only just what you believe, but further the free exercise of what that belief then calls for you to do. The second freedom that Americans enjoy and are guaranteed, not by government, but by God, is freedom of speech and freedom of the press. It again is the position of the Settlement Project that every single human being alive should be understood as being given that guarantee by God, and that their governments, their Congresses, their constitutions should acknowledge this, and this should be the basis for political and social life. Thirdly, to peaceably assemble, that people in every country in the world, in every culture in the world, in every nation should have the God-given right to assemble peaceably. Finally, to petition the government for redress of grievances, and also to be assured of equality under the law. So equality under the law is a status which removes preferential opportunity for anybody of a higher class, anybody of a given race, anybody of a given gender, anybody of a given religious majority, and so forth. Equal justice under the law is an expression of the radical equality of every human being alive. Now, this was enshrined in the United States Constitution, but it is not necessarily guaranteed to all people on earth. There are some extremely repressive governments, and there are some extremely repressive cultures globally and worldwide. The Settlement Project is concerned about protecting and preserving these both in the United States and expanding them internationally. It should not be confused, however, with a classical cultural imperialism in which United States people believe that their culture and their society is better than any others, or that any other culture or society or nation should emulate American systems. That's not at all the purpose. It's recognized and encouraged and embraced by the settlement project that every culture is distinct, every political system is distinct, every society builds itself according to the vision and wisdom and of its sages and founders, of its concept of governance, and of its spiritual and religious and metaphysical and theological roots inform culture. So the distinctions between cultures, societies, and even political systems, the expansion of that to emulate the United States is not at all an interest of the settlement project. Rather, merely the God given rights, human rights that are guaranteed by God, should be enjoyed by every person alive, and that governments should serve them, their horizons of opportunity, their opportunities to work and support their family, to live in dignity, to have a creative expression of their artistic and intellectual talents, and so forth. So this is the work of the Settlement Project in terms of its expansion orientation, that what American citizens are meant to enjoy, uh, eventually all people should be equally guaranteed and protected those same rights. The other part of the work of the Settlement Project is that these God given rights and freedoms are under constant assault. They're under assault politically and legislatively. They're under assault culturally. So, for example, if we look at the guarantee of freedom of speech, that Congress is meant to protect that American citizens are not to be forbidden or oppressed or suffer from their right to express their mind freely. It does the abridgment of that and the removal of that and the oppression of human rights would not does not necessarily have to come from legislative or political action. So, for example, in the United States today, uh, there's something called cancel culture, that anybody that's utters half a thought that someone might find offensive or that implies some sort of form of bias in one's way of thinking or speaking, this can be the absolute destruction of an individual. Their families can be destroyed. Their children can be attacked. They can even be attacked physically. They can lose their careers and jobs for even accidentally speaking in a certain way. This by no means is a culture that supports the freedom of expression. And so the settlement project is very strongly focused on God-given human rights. Human rights. Freedom of religion is a human right guaranteed by God. Freedom of expression is a human right guaranteed by God. It's under threat in the United States, and in many places of the world, it's not under threat. It doesn't even exist. So we need your help. We need your cooperation. We hope that you will recognize the importance of this work that we're doing, and that you will become a friend and partner in some fashion or another according to your available time and commitment. Thanks very much for listening. I look forward to working with you as we move forward for this important work. Thank you.